So today's topic is going to be whether or not we are in World War III and why that matters. So whether or not we are in World War III, it really depends on who you're talking to, because there are historians from reading the patterns who already agree that we are seeing the early stages of World War III. Now, the reason it's not World War III is because it hasn't been declared so by our government, by NATO, by any ruling country that is right now in some type of war. There are overlapping regions that are at war with each other, right? So we know that there's stuff going on in Israel. There's the Middle East is all messed up right now, but no shade or anything. We're talking about the Ukraine war, right? Like, it's at its fifth year with the U.S. So we are at war with Ukraine, but not only Ukraine, we're also over there in Taiwan. We are in Sudan. We are in Iran. We are in Israel, right? Because we are fighting hand by hand with Israel. Now, there are more overlapping conflicts in today's war than there was in the Cold War. So that is why some historians are already saying we are in World War III. Like, you can't say that we're not. It's very evident, too, with the way that the gas prices are going, the grocery prices, and this has been going on for years. It's almost like, yes, we are in World War III, and they just don't want to declare it because they don't want people to panic. They don't want people taking money out of their stocks, right? Because then that's going to create a domino effect. The people on top who have the most leverage in those stocks and companies will lose everything if people start pulling out, right? The mortgage market could crash again. We are seeing the same patterns that we did in 2005 to 2008. So between the years of 2005 and 2008, there were so many people taking out loans that were just going to be impossible to pay back, basically. Not only impossible to pay back because of the amount of debt, but people were taking out false loans. So we don't have that issue where you can actually take out a loan with a false identity. It's not that easy anymore. There's lots of foreclosures. If you are looking at the market, it's been like 2 years ago, I started looking to buy a house. It took me about 2 years to buy a house. And now that I'm finally in one, I'm just going back looking at the market just to compare prices, because apparently I already have $45,000 in equity since moving in, and they haven't even seen the things we've done to the house. So it's kind of, it's funky. It's like some people are making easy cash. It's too easy. And if you watch the movie, The Big Short, it's a great movie, actually. It has a lot of really good actors in it, right? The Big Short was about how some man predicted the mortgage market, right? Like the housing market crashing before it did, like 3 years before it actually did. He was reading the patterns. He was like slightly autistic, right? So he was really good with number crunching, and he was able to catch this. And when he began to bet, and like buy shorts against the mortgage market, people began to wake up like, why is this guy betting against the housing market? Like, the housing market has never crashed before in history. And so when he started doing that, he woke up other people in the finance field. And then they started to see the patterns and realize, like, wow, a lot of these loans are bullshit. They're going to fall. They're going to fall off in a few years. People are going to not pay them back, and then we're all going to be in a deficit, right? Like, the financial institutions were realizing this. And so, yeah, it was a big thing. And then the government bailed out the banks and everybody and everything. And so even though it did crash for a while, it didn't really like hit rock bottom because the government stopped it. And so the government does intervene when things are going to hit rock bottom, and they will have this illusion that nothing is wrong, that they can fix whatever little issue happened, and then we can go back to normal. And that just prevents them losing a lot of money in what they've invested in, because the government themselves invest in our economy. So whatever we pull out on, whatever we don't pay back, it does fall back on them. So, well, like, not just the institutions, but also back on the government. If eventually the institutions fail, the government will fail. So the government prevents the institutions from failing so that they themselves don't fail. So, you see the pattern here. And this is what is more than likely happening right now. So once you watch that movie, you will see why we are in this time and space right now, and why it feels like, why hasn't this crashed? Why hasn't the stock market crashed? Why hasn't crypto crashed? Why hasn't the mortgage market crashed? Why haven't these banks gone under? And if you remember, about 2 years ago, there was a few banks in the Silicon Valley that went under. This was 2022, 2023. there was a few of those banks in the richest area of all United States that went under, right? They closed like for good. And I think that was the first sign that the economy was in trouble. But something started going on and they started bailing out banks and stuff, or something started going on. Why it matters to us whether we are in World War III or not. Um, it's actually the part that doesn't require a dramatic framing, right? So it's just energy and fuel prices. If we are in a war, especially World War III, things can get expensive, and we are already seeing the energy and fuel prices going up, not just, air. And it's like the middle of summer. Some people are really struggling in the heat right now and they need that air conditioning, and they have to wonder whether or not they want to use it. Like, am I going to suffer so that I can save money and then not suffer in the long run? Or will I just like please myself in the short term right now, and then in the long run later, I'm going to have to bite that, right? So it's crazy. I have solar panels, so I don't have to worry about that right now, thankfully. But like, it's sad, like people are really worried. Like, we have to worry about the gas prices. Like, now we're commuting and the gas prices it's just an area of concern. Inflation and supply chains, obviously. Why have they not declared that we were in World War III? Because they're already raising more tariffs in Canada, like from Canada to the US. And that's a lot of different things that we buy from them. They're the closest ones to us. We thought we were saving money getting things imported from them, right? And Mexico. And then these tariffs are like messing with people's pockets, like the everyday people. Defense spending and domestic spending. So we are going to be spending a lot of money on military, right? And we already are. We're already paying for this war, and in so many ways. So them not declaring that we're in World War III is going to perpetuate us paying back into the system and funding these sources. Interest rates and market volatility. We don't even have to go over that. Currency and trade policy. These are all things that are being affected by World War III that affect us, the everyday people at the bottom. And so my biggest thing is like, yeah, this is happening, but why are people so quiet, so still, so passive, so docile? Social media is making us docile. Social media is not allowing us to realize that we are in a very, very volatile time in our society. Times today are not stable. I don't care, what other people can say. Like, no one is really stable in where they are right now. No one is sure of their job. Lots of people are out of a job. They can't find another job. The career market is just like diminishing. It is disappearing, just at best, right? We don't even really know where to direct our kids when they want to start working. Like, what can they do that will be secure enough for them? We don't even have that security in our future right now. So these times are not just volatile. They are so iffy. They are so unstable. Very, it makes you wonder. Yeah, I had to look up this word. So the best word for this scenario is precarious, right? So these are precarious times. Precarious means conveys instability and the sense that things could tip at any moment. This is what we are experiencing, and this is what we've been experiencing ever since COVID. We knew that things weren't going to go back to normal because they kept pushing that down our throats. The build back better, new normal. Remember when they were pushing that? This is the new normal. Turbulent is another great word. Shaky and tenuous. These are other words to describe the last 6 years of our existence. So ever since COVID, was kind of gone, we still didn't feel safe. We felt like anything like that could happen again. Not only are viruses a concern now, like having to go out and just catch something that will keep you at home for a month, that's not the only concern we're having here. Like, it's things about money, things about war, things about our job, things about our children, right? Like, every aspect of our life that once seemed stable before COVID has never gone back to actually being stable unless you are working on yourself, so much so that the environment around you is going to reflect that. If you work on yourself, if you work on, just not just your goals, but your intel, your understanding, your emotional regulation, all of these things that make someone a strong person, like someone that is hard to knock down, if you work on these things, your family is going to reflect that strength, especially as a woman. If you are the womb in the family, right, the matriarch, then whatever you do, to internalize and to fortify your mind and your soul, it is going to reflect in your environment. you will see it tenfold in the environment. And as long as you keep on doing it, it will just grow and show more apparently, right? So if you have been working on yourself, if you are adapting to the technology and you can understand the change that's happening with the world, that's going to put you on top. That will put you ahead of where most people are right now, that are not doing anything, that are not listening to this, that are just repeatedly watching celebrity gossip and things on the news that they want us to talk about, things that don't make your life any stronger or any better. As long as you yourself are working on your inner resilience and making sure that nothing fears you, nothing scares you, nothing stops you, nothing will hold you back to becoming better, you don't have to worry about yourself and your family. You're already working towards the future. Even if the future seems uncertain, trust me, you can get ahead. You will prevail as long as you are aware of yourself, aware of what's happening, preparing yourself, understanding the changes, adapting to everything, and also not creating any enemies, right? Because sometimes we self-sabotage ourselves just because we are still playing out our old programs of not feeling like we're good enough, not feeling like it matters, feeling like whatever you do isn't going to make a difference anyways. Like those old ways of thinking don't do anything for you. Like giving up and feeling like you don't have it in you is not going to help. Your soul is stronger than whatever you have faced. Your soul is stronger than the problem. Your intellect, your spirit is stronger than anything that you will ever have to go through, because people make it out of the worst scenarios that you can even imagine. So if you've made it out of a tough time, remember that you can do it over and over again. So do not sell yourself short. Don't underestimate yourself. Don't underestimate your spirit, your soul. You came here with a light body, and the only limitation you have is this physical body that you're in. You cannot fly off the walls, when you're like wholly conscious, right? Because we know about astral traveling and stuff like that. You can't do certain things with this body because you only have 2 eyes, you only have 2 hands, you only have 2 feet. But you can still do a lot with those 2 hands, 2 feet, and 2 eyes. Do you see what I'm saying though? A lot of people don't realize that what makes them stronger isn't this physical body, right? It's not this look that you have going on. It's not this skin suit that you're wearing. It's what's inside. And you need to find the strength inside of yourself, because we all have it. But if you're never calling on it, if you're never asking or even fortifying it, if you're not nurturing your own strength, your own soul, then what are we doing? Okay? We can't keep giving the power to something else that is not going to show up. The power is within you. Okay? And that's why I'm not religious. That's another reason why I'm not religious, is because the power is within you. It's not the image that you want it to be. Right? We're not going to pass on the responsibility to something else. So I say all that to say that don't be a victim of your circumstances ever, because then when you make yourself the victim, then you won't be the victor. And so a victor is a person that triumphs their shortcomings. Be that strong force for yourself. And when you keep doing it like over and over again and you're consistent with it, the environment around you is also going to transform. When you transform, it takes a little while for the physical to catch up, because transformation happens in the spiritual realm first. Transformation happens in the mind first, internally. So once you have adapted to the transformation, once you have caught up to the transformation, then the external side of the transformation will start to show. So with patience, with resilience, knowing that it will come, just keep on going. Keep on moving forward. Keep on pushing yourself forward. Keep on elevating the people around you, because that energy is going to come back. The energy that you put out, whether it's good or bad, it's always going to come back. Karma is a real thing. Dharma is a real thing. Whatever you say, whatever you put out, it is going to come back in the physical, because first it is internalized. It is created. It is birthed within you. And once you release it out and you start expressing that, it's like a boomerang. It will come back. So once you understand these concepts of living of the spirit, you'll understand how to maneuver your physical life. So I hope that I didn't get you too much worried about what's going on in the matrix, but you are the hidden force behind the matrix. You are the hidden energy. And so once you can connect with that, you're going to start feeling it. You're going to start connecting with it. You're going to start having a relationship with it, and you will start to form and fashion your life the way that you want. You will develop the ultimate life. You will manifest everything that you thought could be possible one day. It may not happen tomorrow. Like, I haven't manifested everything that I've ever wanted yet, but I know that in 30 years, I'll look back and I'll be like, dang, I remember when I was just thinking about I wanted that to happen, and now it's a reality. And yes, I said 30 years because that's how 10 toes down I am about this reality. Like, I am setting myself up for the future, whether that means I see it today, tomorrow, or when I'm 60. I just want my kids to be in a really good, healthy environment. I want my kids to grow up in a world that they're not afraid of, that they can raise kids in if they choose to do so. So I hope you guys caught this video. Hope you made it to the end to hear the really inspiring stuff, because that's what I'm all about. Because that's the kind of information I like to push out. So guys, see you on the next one. Show you how to move, let me show you how to get that bad. You ain't never coming last. Fuck your man, you know this gon' make a man.